Hello, hello. I am Coach Cori Sartori. I empower high-achieving women to shift their mindset, to grow their self-belief, confidence, and business for a more fulfilling life. So today I want to talk to you about running from your problems. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about, how many of us run from our problems. And it reminded me that it was something that I started doing at a very, very young age. I started running from my problems when I was probably in between the ages of 7 and 9. And like something that came up for me as I was thinking about this, I remember being that age, and I can't remember how old I was, but I remember getting in trouble because I was being a jerk to my brother. My brother's younger than me, and I was mean to him. And so I got in trouble. And so my mom put me in my room. I took the screen out of the window, jumped out the window, and like ran down the street. My mom, I hear her, she opens the front door and is like screaming at me, like, "Cori, get back here." And so that night I did it again. Like my mom left to go pick my dad up from the airport. I packed suitcases of like things, storage food, and had my nightgown on, had my roller skates on and my bicycle, and probably was 7, 8 years old. Left my house at dark because I was running away because I didn't want to be in trouble, and had skates on, bicycle, 2 suitcases on each handlebar. I'm leaving my house at like 7, 8 years old to run away so I don't have to face my problems. And got around the corner, and one of my friend's dad was there, and he was like, "No way." So I went back home and had to have a hard conversation with my mom the next morning. So I started running away from my problems when I was little, and it was a pattern that I just kept doing for years and years and years. So it started really young, and I remember doing it throughout my teenage years and early 20s. But I started doing it more and more the older I got and the more toxic and codependent my romantic relationship was. So I was in a codependent toxic relationship from the time I was 20 till I was 31 or 32. And so this relationship was toxic. It was off and on, and I was 25 and the relationship was off. And of course I was still madly in love with this person, even though we didn't treat each other kindly and the relationship was just toxic. And so I had a girl ask me, a girl I barely knew. I had just met her the week before. She said to me, "I'm moving to Denver. Do you want to go?" And within seconds I was like, "Yep." So I, in that moment, made the choice I was going to run away from all of my problems. So I moved to Denver. While I was in Denver, got back together with the codependent, toxic, wonderful guy, and came back to Salt Lake. And then when it all fell apart, I believe it was a year after I bought my house, so I was probably 30 years old, and chose to run away again because I didn't want to deal with the fact that he completely broke my heart. He cheated on me. It was just awful. And so I didn't want to face my problems. I didn't want to deal with them. It was too much. It was too much hurt, too much heartache. So I was like, I'm just going to run away from it. And so I ended up transferring jobs from Salt Lake City to San Mateo, California. And guess what? My problems followed me. He came after me, and within a year we broke up again. And it was just this constant off and on complete garbage. So I was really good at running away from my problems. And I don't think I ever got to this place where I chose to stop running from my problems. But what ended up happening is in 2013, I started working on myself. I started to heal. I started to grow. I started to do a ton of self-work. I started listening to books. I started reading books as well, watching documentaries and going to workshops and seminars. And I just started to invest so much time and energy into working on myself and becoming a different person, because I had spent so many years miserable, unhappy, and it wasn't adding any value to my life. Running away from my problems didn't help me, because I would run away from these problems and they would still be there. They never would just magically disappear. They wouldn't magically resolve themselves. They would still be there, and I would still have to deal with them. And so, yes, I was running away to different cities, like leaving where I lived, to just run away from my problems. And it never served me. It didn't help me. I never was able to resolve these problems or fix these problems. And so what is amazing is when I started to work on myself, these problems became less and less and less. Like, yes, I still had problems, but once I started healing myself and growing myself and doing everything I could to become the person I wanted to be, the person I was meant to be, my problems got smaller and smaller, and so I didn't have to keep running away. And I'm so incredibly grateful that I chose to start working on myself back in 2013, because I am a completely different person than I was 9-10 years ago. I have done so much growth and so much healing that when a problem happens, when something comes up, instead of running from it, I face it, I deal with it, and then I don't have to deal with it later. So most of you know, in March of 2021, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. This is not something you can just run away from. When you are given this diagnosis, you can't just, let me just run away from it and hope it goes away. It doesn't work that way. It's like, my cancer was grade 3, which means the grade is how fast it's growing. And so there's grade 1, 2, 3, and 4. My grade was 3, and so it was growing very fast. And so when I found out that I had cancer, there was no running from it. There was no putting it off, dealing with it. It was something I had to deal with in that moment and start figuring out what the hell I was going to do. But I know that I was able to thrive through breast cancer and be grateful for the experience, and grateful for my community showing up for me, because I had worked on myself so much. I didn't have to run from my problems anymore. I didn't have to run from the fact that I was diagnosed with this huge, scary disease. I was able to sit with it and be present with it and choose to heal from it and let go of it. And so if you are somebody who is running from your problems constantly, I challenge you to start working on yourself, start doing some self-development, because I mean, if I started running away from my problems when I was 7 or 8, that means I ran away from my problems for 25 years. That's a long time to constantly be ignoring what's going on and running. It was a long time that I did that. And once I started healing myself and working on myself and shifting my mindset and growing my self-love and self-belief and confidence, I was able to step up and face my problems. I was able to step up and face those scary things. And it wasn't like perfect and magical all at once. You know, it took continuing to work on myself every day. Like, I am 9+ years deep into self-development, and it is still a daily practice. It is something I do every day. If I am not working on myself, I am not growing. I'm moving backwards. And so I want to keep moving forward. And so self-development is a must for me. If you want to stop running from your problems, you have to start working on yourself. You have to start doing hard work. You have to start figuring out what is it within your mindset. What is it maybe that happened in the past that has created this pattern for you? And I couldn't tell you where this started, why I started running from my problems. I just know I started doing it at a very young age, and then it was just a pattern I continued to do over and over and over. And so choosing to work on yourself will help you stop running from your problems. Choosing to work on your mindset, choosing to create powerful goals, choosing to make yourself a priority, your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual being a priority. This will help you to stop running from your problems. So this is my challenge to you. If you feel that you are somebody that continues to run from your problems, take a moment to stop and dig in and start figuring out why it is you run from your problems. And if you can't even figure that out, then just start doing some self-development, right? Like, whether that's listening to a podcast, listening to a book, hiring a coach, hiring a therapist, there are so many things you can do to start healing yourself and growing yourself. And when you start to work on yourself, you'll stop running away. You stop running away from what's going on, whether that's a hard relationship, whether that's from a promotion, whatever it is. Once you start to work on yourself and grow yourself and love yourself, you'll stop running. So I have 4 spots open for my one-on-one coaching program this month, and I would love to help you stop running from your problems. I would love to help you grow your self-belief, your self-love. I'd love to help you build your confidence, your business, let go of limiting beliefs, and so much more. My one-on-one coaching program is so powerful. It has helped already so many women transform their lives, and I would love to help you as well. So send me a DM right now with the word program to find out how my coaching program can help you. I am so grateful for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and I look forward to connecting soon.